Okay, here's my next project. I am going to put a full-length mirror right here that slides and has storage behind it. Saw this on YouTube and TikTok and decided to give it a shot myself. So, marked off where the studs are. Looks like I got a good opening right between. I'm going to put a 24-inch mirror here. The only thing I got to deal with, I got electric on this side. So, looks like there's going to be electric right there. So, I've got my two tools. A little straight cutter once I make some headway here, and this tool. First things first, I'm just gonna go hack a hole right in the middle. Where am I? Hack a hole right in the middle and see what I got. See what I'm dealing with here. This house has walls upon walls, so that's not exactly simple. But this is an interior wall. It should be okay. We'll see. Okay, so I punched a couple holes in the wall, and just see how I measured my studs right there. Right there. Yeah. Where's the stud? Right there. Of course. Right. Just right in the middle. But it's okay. But I did these by hand because I didn't want to. I did these by hand with the guy on the left because I didn't want to. Because of this, I was a little afraid of that. So we're gonna have to deal with that, which it's not a big deal, I don't think. I'll just put a 2x4, run it up and down, kind of shove this on the other side of it, so it'll kind of be protected. But the concept is to cut a big hole right there, and then finish it off inside, put some shelves, and then mount a mirror on front of it. So we'll see. So next step is to measure the mirror out, and then we'll draw out a line here, kind of get it centered. Probably going to be right about there, and then cut the thing out with that guy, which is amazingly quick. I'll show you that in a second. So here's the mirror that we're dealing with. I'll measure that thing out. Yes, I've got 3 projects going on at once. Boom, refinishing this. So let's attempt. There's me. Hey, go Bucks. So we're going to measure this thing out. I think the mirror itself is 24 by 5 feet, 24 by 60. So we'll see. Hang on. Okay. So now I got the measurements. 27 by 61 is the outside measurement. So now I'm going to measure this part so I can get it centered on here. 31 and a half. Write that down. 31 and a half. And then, of course, I lost my pencil. Here it is. 31 and a half. 31 and 1/2. And then just kind of pick out how high you want it off the wall. But let's do this. So I got 27, 31 and a half. That's 4.5 inches. That means that's 2 1/4 on each side. Not very much. Just right there. Ooh, that thing's going to be wide. Okay. Alright, it's going all the way there. That doesn't mean I need to cut the hole that far. The mirror is going to go that far. So I can cut the hole smaller than that, which I probably will. So I'll probably cut it maybe 4 inches on both sides. Give it a little bit more play, and then I'll put the mirror in the middle. So I'm going to measure to 4 inches on both sides. That'll give me enough room to put the electrical box. Might go 5 inches. I'll measure that and see how far it is. Actually, I can just tell right there. The electrical box. Yeah, 5. 5's better. Alright, so I'm going to go 5 inches on both sides. I'll draw a line up and down both sides and then cut it out. Probably a little shorter too, so the mirror has enough room to cover. Okay, back to this. So I measured some lines on the wall where I was going to cut to. Then of course I start cutting and there's a stud right here. These studs are like, they're not 16, right? There's one that's center, 12 inches. 12 inches on center. Okay, so my new line's going to be right there. So I'm just going to draw a new line and cut up against this stud. So that's going to be one edge. And then I'm going to come over here. We'll see. Like I said, it doesn't really matter where the hole is compared to the mirror itself, as long as the mirror covers it thoroughly. So I'm going to just make as much interior space as I can. And you can even tuck it in under and behind if you wanted the opening to be smaller. We'll see what it looks like here. But I'm about to break out this. So this, if you have one of these, is amazingly quicker. Does the job. Makes it a little bit of a mess. So I think I better make some precautions here. The wife's going to get upset. All right, more later. I'm making some progress. The this part came out pretty easy. This thing, this thing's a machine. That's a pretty good line. You got to be better than I am with it. This line's pretty good. I'm gonna finish it off with some kind of. When I finish this off, which I haven't figured out what I'm gonna do, and the edges, probably put some edging on it of some sort, so it's not exposed. I'll figure that out. But yeah, this thing works pretty good. I got the electrical to deal with here, so I'm gonna cut at least this side. I'm gonna cut by hand, so I don't kill myself. And then I'll clean it up a little bit. This is interesting. The back side of that, I'll just have to cover that up. Also, found St. Pete Times. I'm in St. Petersburg, Florida. But Wednesday, November 11th, 1998. So apparently that's when they finished this bathroom off. 1998. 25 cents. St. Pete Times doesn't even exist anymore. It's Tampa Bay Times now. And there was a blizzard in Nebraska. All right. More later. Okay, back here. I got the rough opening cut. I need to do a better job on this side. I did a pretty good job on that side. This is my first side, of course. Anytime I do things the first time, I don't do it great. So the mirror is 21, opening's 19. Up and down, I think I just have 50. So let's see here, 54-ish. That's like 60 on. So I got to go back and remeasure the mirror because my next, well, after I straighten this out and pull these nails, I got to put a crossbar. Well, I'm going to put shelves on here anyways, but I got to put a crossbar for the rack, the bracket. About some pull-out drawer brackets that I'm going to mount basically right there and down here. But I need to put a stud crosswise. So that'll be the most important one too. And then I don't know if I cut up to those. I'm not sure. I haven't figured that out yet. Stay tuned. Okay, found some more newspaper. Same date, November 11th, 1998. Okay, so, and by the way, we're doing this in 2022. So I got the opening cut pretty straight. I'm gonna put some kind of corner on there anyway. So as long as I get it close, this little tool did a good job. The blade that worked the best was this guy. Little small teeth, flat. Tried a few others that didn't work too good. This guy works pretty good. And make sure you change it every once in a while too, because it'll wear out pretty quick. I guess depending on how good a blade you get. So my next concept here, two things. One, do this when your wife's not at home because you're gonna make a huge mess, and it gives you at least a chance to clean this up before they get back. Two, I would have cut this over further if I did this again, because I'm gonna put 2x4 like right there, all the way up. But I got to put one down here on the bottom and one on the top for the cross rails. Oops, get better angle. I got to put one on top, on the bottom for the cross rails because I need something to mount those to, the sliders. And so I think what I'm going to do is put a 2x4 across here and through there, but have it come out to right here. So kind of put it like that, and up to the front of this. Otherwise, if I put it all the way back here, the slide will be in there and won't work. So I got to bring it out. I can't put it on the drywall. I guess I could put a step behind it, but I'll just bring it up to the front. My style. All right. Clean up is next. All right. So I got the hole pretty well cut out here. What I decided is I'm going to take out that center stud. So it's not load bearing. Basically there to hold sheetrock. Once I put these cross shelves, it should support that sheetrock from falling in. Anyways, I mean, it's not that big of a gap. So, plus the other side of the wall, there's nothing on it. It's just the bathroom. Yeah, just nothing there. So, we're going to attempt to take this out. So I'm going to use my handy dandy cutter tool. Where are you? There you go. Hopefully slice you there. The hardest part is going to be these guys are screwed in from the other side, so I'm going to have to come in wherever they are and cut behind them. And we'll see how that goes. Alrighty, stay tuned. Alright, so I'm back cutting these. I cut the wood on the top and bottom with what's left of this blade, but you can kind of see the bigger. It's a wood blade, but just not forcing it really much, but working it. Now I'm back cutting, and this one seems to work really good. It's a wood metal blade, but I'll show you what I'm doing here. It seems to be working pretty good. So just got to go find a screw. I just went right through. Pretty good. Getting there. What I've found is you don't push too hard, just let the blade do it. And then check it every once in a while, because these little, I've gone through 5 or 6 of them already, but they're working good. All right, so I was able to cut through those. This thing rocked. That's in focus, but yeah, that's a good blade for that one. And cut these were on there. I just cut through. Boom, 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 boom. All things considered, surprisingly easy for that one. All right. Now, that makes it easier to build some shelves here. And this is solid. I gotta figure out how to make that nice. But all right, next step. All right, update. We couple things. So I got rid of that middle board. I think I had that before. Had to saw off a little bit more of this guy up here. I went and bought some plywood. So some really thin plywood. I'll show you it. Had to cut around this little conduit. Right there. So I'm going to put 2x4 across the top, 2x4 across the bottom, seal it into that and that stud. So this stud, that stud, and probably screw it up into that. Just thought about that right now. The second, and that'll work out good. I got to watch out for these electrical back in here. That's the only thing I can work out there. But actually screwed into that stud, which I just figured out this very second, worked pretty good. And I'm going to move it forward. Let me show you the piece. So I cut out this piece, see, like that. So it's going to go like this. So it can sit forward. I think I'm going to put it just about the thickness of this, which is only a quarter inch. It's not even a quarter inch, eighth of an inch. Back from here so I can cover it up. But this is what's the rails are gonna stick to. See how I cut that up there? So I moved it forward. So I'm only gonna screw it in the back end. And I'm gonna screw it in over there with not getting into the wires. And then my newly found space, I'm gonna screw in right there. All right. I'm gonna do the same thing down below too. No wires though. That's nice. Okay, got the 2 supports in. You know, it wasn't easy to screw that in. And I screwed this one up there. Screw it in there and there. And there, I got one in. You don't want to hit these wires, but since I got these guys here, we're good to go. I already got a stud over here, cut right up against it. Now, I'm going to put a stud up and down here. So I'm going to screw it to that board down there, that one up there, just to give me something to screw my shelves to. So I got to cut it around this electrical box again. Stupid. I should have just cut it out here. Life would have been a lot easier. One tool I just used is this guy, because I was having to get up there against the wall. So this thing it allows you to screw around corners. It's pretty cool. So it just rotates there, but just plugs right in. Pretty cheap. Got on, I don't know, $15 or something. Okay, update. Got this one in pretty good. Oh, that one was in there already. Sorry. Get the bottom one. These two. These are the ones. So I just kind of left out the electric box. We're going to figure out how to hide that bad boy. later. I'm going to put paneling up here. So this one just kind of butts up against that wire. Probably not the greatest thing in the world, but it's not going to be any pressure. I screwed it in up there, so we're good there. So it's kind of boxed in now. Now I'm gonna figure out how to cover these up with some of this stuff and try to make it look prettier. And then maybe paint it. Then I get some shelves. Good. Next. All right, it's coming together. The boxed in the sides here. It just doesn't look the greatest. It keeps coming out. But once I put a shelf in, it'll keep it tighter over there. So I boxed in the bottom. It's basically boxed in the whole thing. I'm going to use, I think, either some trim. I'm going to put a little strip over there, too. A strip there. This is where the sliders are going to go. So they're going to slide that way. I think it's just weighting that down. So, I got some of this little trim, which I could put there. Which I may put there. We'll see. I'm not sure yet on that one. It's plastic, but it doesn't look bad, actually. I can just glue it to the wall. Might do that. But I'm going to paint this first. And, well, I'm going to put the trim up there on the top and the bottom. Let's finish that first. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. Alright, so I put in this little strip up there. And I got another one cut. Just wanted to show you what it looked like. This is how thick this stuff is. Pretty thin. I'm going to put that guy down here. And I'm just gluing them on with some liquid nails. Just this stuff. It looks like that. It's at every hardware store. That's what it looks like. Liquid nails. Can't spin it around. But it's just heavy duty glue. Then I'm going to put some shelves in and paint it. And then I showed you that strip before. I think that's what we're going to use on the edge, but I'll figure that out. So this, if you can see, I kind of got it to go on pretty dang flat with this, the wall. So when I put the sliders, the rail, I guess they're called sliders, they're going to go on there. And the mirror will affix over top of this whole thing. And hopefully I got everything sized right. We'll find out. Okay, moving on to the paint. So still haven't figured out how I'm going to finish these. I think I'm just going to use those other things, but I'm going to paint this whole thing inside here. I'm going to make it look like a big cabinet. Let's stick up some shelves. My wife tells me how high these want shelves. And the slides, I think, just appeared at the front door. So I'm going to go get those. Take a look at them. All right, we got an update of where we are. There's the mirror. Let's go over here. I've got, so since last time I put on those edges. So those little plastic edges, I don't know if they're perfect or not. If you can find something to go over the edge, depending on what you need. I had to cut these slightly because they had a little extra piece on there to go over drywall, which of course is drywall have plaster on top of it. So then I put these slides up. So I took the slider part off that goes onto the mirror. That came off. And I went with 24s. This thing measures 27 across. Hindsight, I probably would have gotten the length of this, but I didn't know the length of that when I bought the sliders, so whatever. Do it in order. But it'll allow it to slide further, again on 24s. So it should slide pretty much all the way out of the way. We're going to find out once we put the doors on. The hard part is to figure out how to line up the mirror with the slides. So I'm going to put the slides back on there and see if I can hold the mirror up there and mark it on there to screw it into the mirror. I'm sure there's a better way to do it, but I'm not going to provide that. All right, so now we're on to the point of trying to stick these rails into those rails. I measured, measured again. We'll see how it works. Usually this kind of project takes me about 6 times. So we'll see how this one goes. Wish me luck. Alright, not to say that I'm surprised, but it almost went in without a fail. I'll show you a little hint that I figured out to make it work. I mean, I measured, but you'd be off by like an eighth of an inch and it works. But watch this. So there it is open. I haven't put the shelves in yet. They're still drying. I'll show you how to put the shelves in later, I guess. But it works. It covers the hole up. It's centered. I mean, as far as my projects go. So here's the back of the mirror. I took that paper off because it was ripping. But these, you see there's two different holes. There's one that goes sideways. There's one that goes up and down. Use the up and down ones, and then you can come back and especially, so I use the solid ones on the bottom, and then I've used the up and down ones on the top, so I could raise and lower. And what we found, it was easier to put in the bottom one first, put it in all the way, just hold this close to the wall so it doesn't rip it out, but then come back and do the second one. And you could just, as long as you get it within like an eighth of an inch, I mean, seriously, that's your play right there. But just a little bit, but that mattered. I mean, that made a difference. So it was 60 inches on the center. So this thing is like 61 inches tall. And that's how wide it is. That's what I paid for it. I paid $80 for it. Home Goods. That place was really good. It had like a bunch of mirrors. But, alright. So, I actually did it. Alright, I'll show you the finished project in a little bit. Alright, we're down to the last few things here. Put the shelves in. So, I just got, I guess it's a 1x6 or 3/4 by 6. Painted it. I'd probably go with, and then put those little brackets on the bottom. I'll show you the brackets. It's these guys. Little screws. They're like perfect size screws. They don't go through this wood. So, just putting one on each end. I don't think there's not much weight on those things. So I just kind of stuck some bottles down there to see the height. I'm just going to work my way up. Probably put a little shelf at the top. We'll see. I'll show you when it's all done. Okay, we've got all the shelves in. And I sprayed a little shellac on the kind of sealer on the shelves because they paint, especially here in Florida, it gets sticky if it doesn't dry. It can't dry all the way because of the humidity. So spread a little bit of that on there. That should keep the things from sticking. But that's it. So it was actually pretty successful. Thanks for watching.